Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're going to be doing something a little different.
Oh,
Yeah, we're going to be time traveling.
time traveling.
Yeah, all the way back to ancient times
Okay.
to uncover surprisingly relevant business advice.
All right, I'm intrigued.
So we're going to be cracking open the book of Leviticus
Okay.
and exploring what ancient festivals
Uh-huh.
can teach modern entrepreneurs like you.
I like it. It might sound a bit unexpected.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought so too.
But these celebrations,
Yeah.
Passover, the Feast of Weeks,
Mm.
and the Feast of Tabernacles, they're packed with wisdom.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just as applicable in today's fast-paced business world as it was centuries ago.
I gotta admit, I was a little skeptical at first.
Understandable.
Yeah, what does an ancient harvest festival have to do with launching a startup or managing a remote team?
Yeah, good question.
I'm ready to be convinced, though.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's start with Passover. It celebrates liberation from slavery in Egypt.
Yes.
What's the business takeaway there?
Well, it's not just about celebrating milestones.
Okay.
It's about recognizing those pivotal moments when you break free from old limitations,
Uh-huh.
whether that's outdated processes,
Yeah.
fear of failure,
Mhm.
or even a toxic work environment.
Oh, wow.
It's about leading your team to a metaphorical promised land
I like
of
that.
innovation and success.
So it's like, okay, we've survived the desert of product development.
Yes,
We've crossed the Red Sea of funding hurdles.
Mhm.
Now let's really build something amazing.
exactly. And recognizing those Passover moments isn't just about a pat on the back.
Right.
It's about understanding what hurdles you've overcome
Okay.
and how that shapes your path forward.
Can you give me a specific example
Sure.
of a Passover moment from your own experience?
Absolutely. Early in my career, I was part of a startup that was struggling to gain traction.
Oh, yeah. I've been there.
We were constantly pivoting, burning through cash, and morale was low.
Ugh. I know that feeling.
But then
Yeah.
we landed a major partnership
Whoa.
that completely changed the game.
Nice.
It was our Passover moment,
Yeah.
our liberation from the shackles of uncertainty.
Wow. I bet that felt incredible.
It really did.
So how did you leverage that moment
What?
to propel your business forward?
We celebrated, of course,
Had to?
but we also used that win as a springboard to refine our strategy,
Okay.
streamline our operations,
Uh-huh.
attract top talent.
Yeah.
It was like we had finally crossed a threshold.
Yeah.
I could see the path to success more clearly.
That's a great example of how celebrating a Passover moment can be more than just a party.
Yes.
It's a strategic opportunity to reflect,
You-
regroup, and set a new course for the future.
I agree.
But how do we identify these Egypts holding our business back?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah. What are the signs that we need a liberation moment?
It requires a healthy dose of introspection and honesty.
Mm.
Are you stuck in outdated processes?
Okay.
Are you afraid to take risks?
Mm-hmm.
Is your team feeling burnt out and uninspired?
Yeah, I've definitely felt that.
These are all signs that you might be trapped in a metaphorical Egypt
Right.
and need to find your path to liberation.
So step one is recognizing the need for change.
Yes.
Then you strategically celebrate the moment you break free from those limitations,
Right.
using it as fuel to move forward.
Precisely.
This is making a lot more sense now.
Good.
All right, let's move on to the Feast of Weeks,
Okay.
also known as Shavuot.
Yes.
This one celebrates the wheat harvest
Right.
and the receiving of the Ten Commandments.
Mm-hmm.
What's the connection to the business world?
It's about more than just listing your company values on a website.
Right.
It's about weaving those values into the very fabric of your business.
Okay.
It's about having a clear code of conduct
Uh-huh.
that guides every decision you make, every interaction you have. Think of it as your business's version of the Ten Commandments.
So Shavuot is prompting us to check in
Yes.
and make sure we're living up to those ideals.
Precisely. It's a reminder to pause amidst the hustle and ask, are we staying true to our core principles?
Mm.
Because when your actions align with your values,
Okay.
you build trust with your team,
Uh-huh.
your customers, and the world.
That's a powerful idea.
It is.
But it's easy to talk about values.
Right.
How do you actually translate them into concrete actions?
Good question.
How do you make sure they're not just empty words on a wall?
Well, it starts with defining your values clearly
Okay.
and making sure everyone in the company understands what they mean in practice.
Right.
Then you need to create systems and processes that reinforce those values.
So if one of your core values is transparency,
Yeah.
that might mean implementing open communication channels and sharing information freely within the team.
Exactly. And if customer focus is a key value,
Got it.
that might translate into going above and beyond to solve customer problems
Mm-hmm.
and constantly seeking feedback to improve your offerings.
I like that.
Good.
It's about finding those practical, everyday ways to bring your values to life.
Yes.
Okay, so we've covered liberation and values.
Uh-huh.
What about the Feast of Tabernacles or Sukkot?
All right.
I know commemorates 40 years of wandering in the desert.
It does.
How does that translate into business advice?
It's about recognizing that the entrepreneurial journey is rarely a straight line.
No.
It's full of twists and turns, unexpected obstacles.
Yeah, I know all about those.
And yes, even periods of wandering in the wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
Sukkot teaches us to embrace that uncertainty,
Okay.
to find strength and resilience in the face of challenges.
You know, that's an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
But wouldn't focusing solely on celebrating milestones lead to complacency?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's not about ignoring the difficult times.
Okay.
It's about acknowledging them, learning from them, and ultimately finding ways to celebrate the journey, even when it's tough.
Okay. So it's like saying, hey, we might be in the middle of a challenging product launch, but let's acknowledge how much we're learning, how adaptable we're being, and how this experience is making us stronger.
Precisely. It's about finding those little victories and moments of joy amidst the chaos.
Yeah.
And celebrating the grit, determination, and adaptability it takes to succeed.
This is starting to resonate. I can see how embracing that Sukkot spirit can be a powerful tool for building resilience and keeping morale high, especially during those inevitable rough patches.
Absolutely. And it's about sharing those stories of resilience too.
Yeah. How so?
Creating a space where your team can openly discuss the challenges they faced and how they've overcome them can build a culture of support and perseverance.
I love that idea. It's like creating your own company folklore.
Yes.
Those stories of resilience and resourcefulness that get passed down and become part of your company's DNA.
Exactly. And speaking of community,
Yeah.
all of these festivals emphasize the importance of coming together,
Okay.
celebrating as a group,
Uh-huh.
and supporting one another.
Right.
That's a powerful reminder for modern businesses as well.
So we're not just talking about celebrating individual wins here. We're talking about building a thriving community around our businesses.
Got it. Whether it's with your employees, your customers, your partners, or even your wider industry network.
Wow.
Cultivating a strong sense of community is crucial for long-term success.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great place to leave it for part 1.
Sounds good to me. Welcome back to our deep dive
It's great to be back.
into the surprising business lessons that we can find in the ancient festivals from the book of Leviticus.
You know, I have to say, I'm really starting to see how these ancient celebrations offer some pretty timeless wisdom.
They really do.
For modern entrepreneurs like me and you listening. Exactly. We've been talking about liberation, values, resilience, but there's another layer here that I think is crucial for any business leader.
What's that?
Fostering a sense of community.
Yes.
These festivals weren't just about individual celebration. They were about coming together as a group, acknowledging shared history, values, and goals.
It's funny you say that.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking about how attending a great industry conference gives you that buzz.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean.
That feeling of shared purpose and excitement.
Yeah.
It's energizing.
It really is.
And that sense of belonging is so important for success, both individually and collectively.
Makes sense.
When people feel connected to something larger than themselves, they're more engaged, more motivated, more productive.
So true. But practically speaking, how can we as business leaders create that kind of vibrant, supportive community?
That's the question.
Yeah, that you see in these ancient festivals.
Right.
It feels like a tall order.
Yeah.
Especially in today's world.
Well, it doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes it's the simplest gestures that make the biggest difference.
Like what?
Regular team lunches, social gatherings, those opportunities for people to connect on a personal level, to get to know each other outside of work roles, can be incredibly powerful.
Right. It's about creating a space where people can let their guard down and just be themselves.
Yes.
That's where those genuine connections are formed.
Exactly. And it's also about creating opportunities for collaboration.
Oh.
Maybe even outside of people's usual departments.
I like that.
Think cross-functional projects.
Okay.
Mentorship programs. Or even just encouraging people to share their skills and knowledge with each other.
That reminds me of a time when I was working on a particularly challenging project, and someone from a completely different department offered to help.
Nice.
They had this unique skill set that ended up being the missing piece of the puzzle.
There you go. It's about breaking down those silos.
Right.
And recognizing that everyone has something valuable to contribute.
So we're talking about fostering a sense of shared purpose.
Yes.
Creating opportunities for connection and collaboration and celebrating those wins together.
Exactly.
But community building isn't just about what happens within the four walls of your business, is it?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It extends outward, too.
So how so?
It's about building strong connections with your customers and partners.
Okay.
And in today's digital age, that often means creating online communities where people can connect, share experiences, and provide feedback.
You know what I think is really interesting?
What's that?
The most successful brands are the ones that have cultivated these passionate, almost cult-like followings. It's like their customers become part of a movement, a community that goes beyond just buying a product or service.
Think about those companies that have created online forums or social media groups where customers can connect with each other, share tips, and even help each other troubleshoot problems.
That's a great idea.
It's powerful stuff.
They're not just customers anymore. They're advocates, ambassadors, co-creators. They feel invested in the brand's success because they feel like they're a part of something bigger.
Exactly.
It's almost like those ancient festivals where people came together not just to celebrate, but also to support each other and share resources.
That's a perfect analogy.
It really is.
And it brings us to another important aspect of these festivals. Giving back.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be drawing parallels between ancient celebrations and corporate social responsibility.
Interesting, right?
Yeah. Tell me more.
Well, many of these festivals had a strong element of generosity and support for those in need.
Okay.
For example, during Sukkot, it was customary to invite guests into your temporary dwelling.
Okay.
Especially those who are less fortunate.
That's a beautiful tradition.
It is.
It's a reminder that success isn't just about personal gain.
Right.
It's about contributing to the well-being of others.
And that's a message that resonates strongly with today's consumers.
Yeah, I can see that.
Especially younger generations. They want to support businesses that are making a positive impact on the world.
So incorporating social responsibility into your business model isn't just ethically sound.
Right.
It's smart business.
Exactly. It builds trust, strengthens your brand reputation, and attracts customers who share your values.
But how do we move beyond just writing a check to a charity?
That's a good question.
How do we authentically integrate social responsibility into our business practices?
There's so many ways to do this. Like what? It could be as simple as supporting local charities. Or volunteering your time as a company.
Or maybe it's about implementing sustainable practices within your business. Reducing your environmental impact. Or sourcing materials ethically.
Or perhaps it's about creating products or services that directly address social needs. Providing solutions to problems that are important to your community.
I love that. It's about aligning your business goals with a larger purpose. Making a tangible difference in the world.
And when you do that, you create a virtuous cycle.
How so?
Your business thrives. Your community benefits, and everyone wins.
It's about moving beyond the purely transactional and building genuine, mutually beneficial relationships with your employees, your customers, your community.
It's about creating a business that's not just successful, but also meaningful, ethical, and sustainable.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about building community both internally and externally, and about the importance of giving back. And we've seen how these seemingly ancient concepts are actually incredibly relevant to the modern business world.
But there's one more fascinating piece of the puzzle that we haven't explored yet.
Okay, you've got me hooked. What is it?
We've talked about the what of these festivals. But we haven't really delved into the how. I'm talking about the rituals. The symbolism, the tangible elements that brought these celebrations to life and gave them such lasting power.
Ooh, that's a great segue. I'm a sucker for a good ritual.
All right.
Let's dive into that in part 3.
Sounds good to me.
Welcome back to the deep dive. You know, we're here for the final part of our exploration of the unexpected business lessons hidden within the ancient festivals described in the book of Leviticus.
We've uncovered some amazing insights about liberation values, resilience, and community. Yeah. But now let's shift gears a bit and talk about the how.
The how.
Yeah. How did these ancient people actually bring these celebrations to life?
You had me at rituals.
Okay.
I'm ready to explore the tangible side of these festivals.
Well, think about Passover.
Okay.
The Seder meal isn't just a feast.
Right.
It's a carefully orchestrated experience filled with symbolic foods.
Like what?
The bitter herbs, representing the bitterness of slavery.
Right.
The unleavened bread,
okay,
symbolizing the haste with which the Israelites fled Egypt.
It's not just about eating.
No.
It's about engaging with the story, making it come alive through these sensory experiences.
Exactly. And that's a powerful lesson for businesses.
Oh, how so?
Creating rituals and symbols that embody your company's values and story can have an incredible impact.
So instead of just talking about our company values, we should be finding ways to make them tangible, experiential.
Precisely. It's about finding those touch points that connect people to your brand's essence.
Okay.
Making it more than just a product or a service, but a shared experience.
It makes me think of those iconic brands that have almost ritualistic product launches.
Yeah.
The anticipation, the excitement, the sense of community.
It's palpable.
It really is.
That's a great example. Or think about companies that have unique onboarding rituals for new employees.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It instantly makes them feel like they're part of something special.
Yeah.
Part of a tribe.
But those first impressions are so important.
Yes, they are.
It's about setting the tone, establishing a sense of belonging right from the start.
Exactly.
What other examples come to mind?
Well, it doesn't have to be elaborate or expensive.
Okay, good.
Maybe it's a weekly team huddle.
Yeah.
Where you share a motivational quote or a company story or a monthly tradition of celebrating employee birthdays with a personalized touch.
It's about those small but significant gestures that infuse your company culture into everyday activities.
Exactly. And remember, rituals don't have to be ancient or borrowed from religious tradition.
Right.
You can create your own rituals.
Yeah.
They're unique to your company and your values.
I like that. What about the power of storytelling?
Oh, yes.
We've talked about how sharing stories of resilience can build community.
Right.
But stories can also be a powerful way to communicate your brand's history, mission, and values.
Absolutely. Think about those brands that have compelling origin stories.
Okay.
Or those that highlight the human stories behind their products or services.
It's about making that emotional connection.
Yeah.
Helping people understand the why behind your business.
And it comes full circle back to those ancient festivals.
Yeah, how so?
They were ultimately about celebrating our shared humanity.
Okay.
Acknowledging our challenges and triumphs. And building connections that sustain us.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the surprising business wisdom we can find in these ancient celebrations, I want to leave you with this thought.
Okay.
What rituals, symbols, and stories can you create to bring your business to life?
What will be your company's version of Passover?
Right.
Shavuot or Sukkot?
Good question.
How will you celebrate your liberation moments, reconnect with your core values, or foster a spirit of resilience and community?
What tangible experiences will you create to connect your team and your customers to your brand's essence?
I love it.
The answers are waiting to be discovered.
They are.
The journey is yours to create.
It is.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.